Next week. Matt Lenihan Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store and Forged Irish Stout. Delighted to be joined by Jamie Conlan. Jamie, here in Belfast, what a card this week. Apart from obviously the main event, how excited are you for what is a terrific card?
No, I think the card speaks for itself. The four main fights, each of them could headline their own show in different ways. You know, Sean McComb against Sam Maxwell is a fascinating one because they've lived together, they've ate together, they've sparred together, they've cheered each other on throughout their career, and neither are opponents, neither at different stages of their career. I think the loser in that one is probably going to retire, and there's a lot on the line. McComb, very, very technical, great boxer, great mover. Sam comes with power and has good fundamentals, great footwork. You know, could land that big shot on Sean, but Sean is, you know, he's highly talented, highly skilled, and I think he comes in to fight the fear, but has to be on guard for the full 10 rounds. And you know, it's going under the radar, that kind of fight, but that's one fight. It's so low down the card. You're going to be in the arena to watch it. So I think people being very early, and you know, you move on to keeping the Jargo with Troy Williamson is fascinating in its own right. It was a fight that we didn't realise that we needed. It was a fight that built up from nowhere. Jargo has something to prove now, has a chip on his shoulder to kind of make sure he puts a statement across to prove that he wasn't afraid of Troy. And you know, Troy is just that, you know, blue collar, hard working, hard nosed, hard man. Has been in so many ridiculous fights over his career, and there's no fear, no step back. He's going to be on your chest, and Kevin knows that. So I think seeing him there now, he looks right up for it, and he's understanding that with Jim McNally and Dak and the boys, and they're riding the crest of the wave. It's a fantastic gym, and they're kind of, you know, he has a lot of confidence from that gym, and then like. For me, being from Belfast, I think Tyrone McKenna and Luis Crocker is phenomenal.
I mean, I've just spoke to Tyrone. He is like, look, this is going to be a war. If you don't like blood, don't come, because that's what's going to happen. And he's convinced, look, he says, Luis Crocker, not been in there with a better boxer than me, not been in there with anyone of my experience. I've not, you know, this, that and the other. He's absolutely convinced he comes away with victory, as you do as a fighter. But you've mentioned about Luis Crocker, you know, this talent that's coming through. It's got all the makings of a classic, this, hasn't it?
It does. Two completely different characters. Tyrone, outspoken, flamboyant, mental. Luis, a bit more introvert, quiet. Doesn't really like to speak too much, but has been drawn out to speak by Tyrone, and it's something new. I've seen a different look in his eye in the build up to this, and seen him react to different things, and I don't know if that's good or bad in Tyrone's element. Yeah, but he's got what he wanted, and he's got the kind of fight that he wants, and I think, yeah, how they both fight, styles, the backstory, you know, they'd never looked at each other as potential opponents, and now here we are. And you know, Tyrone is right in the way. Crocker's never fought someone at this level. He's never been under this kind of pressure. He's never been, I think, had a fight like Tyrone has fought different fighters in Ireland that has, you know, created a bit of atmosphere and animosity in the build-up, and you know, like Jake Haney, not lesser fighters, but Jake Haney, Sean Cray, you know, things like that, where they would have had a bit of back and forth and north-south divide. But Luis has always had it probably, you know, in his favour. This is the one. This is his big test. This is a test that he needs. He needs at this stage of his career, and we'll find out a lot about Luis Crocker and Tyrone McKenna on Saturday.
I think for anyone who's unsure about boxing, who wants to get drawn in and wonders what the fuss about, just tune into that fight. It's going to be unreal. Look, let's talk about the main event. Brother Michael coming back from defeat to Alberto Lopez. Jordan Gill also coming back into a fight after losing to Kiko Martinez. A lot on the line for both. There seems to be more of a calmness about Michael, I would say, this fight week. The last one, he said it himself, I just kept sort of almost piling unnecessary extra pressure on, whereas himself and Pedro, you know, working in tandem, it seems more at ease. I don't know if you've noticed that, but just give us your thoughts.
I have. We went to Miami 10, 11 weeks ago. We had a look at different coaches. We'd done 2 weeks in Miami, and we had a look around. And I came back, Michael, and then back out with Pedro for the 8.5 weeks. And when I'd seen him in London, say 2 weeks ago now, I looked at a different man. I looked at a very happy, a very confident, revitalised man. Watched him sparring with elite level fighters and going, yeah, this is what I like to see. Like, I've been really impressed how he's approached everything, his mindset, his approach to boxing. He's found a love for it again. Yeah, like he had said to me about a week ago, I'm just so excited for the fight. Again, you don't really hear that from Mick, you know. The last while, even in the build of the Leigh Wood, it was all about, this is it, you know, you're going to become world champion. You're like, we're right now at touching where this is. But it's now all that pressure is off, all that is off, and it's just about being him. And he's able to be free in his own what he wants to do.
I was just about to say, with that pressure off and that sort of little bit of extra weight off his shoulders, do you think because of the newfound love for the sport, I would say that he's got that, because he's got that love back, do you think we will see him flex a little bit in there on Saturday? We will see like an array of skills and that confidence back, because when he's firing on all cylinders, he's a special talent.
When he's firing on all cylinders, he's world class. Like I've seen him do things, and I struggle to see others do what he does, and he is world class, and it's just about performing on Saturday now, and his mindset, his frame of mind is unbelievable, and what they have worked on for the last 8 weeks has, you know, brought him back to what he's brilliant at, and it's great to see, because I get to see you see your brother again, you know, you see him being him, and it's I'm really excited for Saturday. Jordan is the kind of fighter that it was needed to bring this out as well. They do have, you know, history of sparring. He's a very, very good fighter, fundamentally good, got great feet, got good speed, got a great jab, and you know, we've seen against Gurf, he can, despite what people state about his record, he can punch with the right hand. So he'll have to be on his game and on his best game to kind of get back into this. How
do you see the fight panning out? No, obviously you're privy to game plan and stuff like that, and you know what he's capable of, but Saturday night, do you see Mick going in there and putting on a boxing clinic? Do you see him stopping Jordan? How do you see it going?
I see it could go various different ways, and like when I listen to Pedro about plan A, plan B, plan C, like potentially, and how he has opened my eyes to boxing on a whole new realm, and how he sees boxing, and listening to the detail, and you know, we went a walk the other day and talked about when I was at school. Like I skipped school for 10 days. I went on the Mitch from school to come to the World Championships here in the Odyssey, the SSC, 2001. The World Championships. David Hay and Carl Frasch were all in it, and the Cuban team. And Pedro was here with the Cubans, and like I remember just being in awe of Mario Kindelan and Lorenzo Aragon and Big Solis, and you know, like we talked about different things, and but Pedro, I think, instilled a belief back in Miguel, because when he seen Miguel, and he, like when we had our first kind of sit down talk, like Harry spoke about Miguel and his previous fights and the detail of each fight, I just went, with this guy, like it could go various different ways. And on Saturday, I just see a masterclass from Mick. I just see a real masterclass.
I remember speaking to Mick last a couple of weeks ago, and he said that he didn't realise what was after the Lopez fight. He was trying to disconnect, but he said Pedro had sent him a message saying, you know, some very nice things to him, kind of thing. This is before it was even discussed. It was very raw, obviously, straight after the fight. So he's obviously knows his boxing like inside out. You just mentioned there. Look, it's difficult not to look at what's attached to this. Jordan Gill is obviously best friends with Leigh Wood, former opponent. We know Leigh's going to be here. In what capacity, part of his team, or just watching on and supporting? Is that going to play a factor with him? Is that going to drive him on to do an even better job, kind of thing? Because when you look at everyone now moving up to 130, you've him, if he's staying here, but we'll see. Josh Warrington, Leigh Wood, Joe Cordina. We know Leigh wants to fight at the City Ground. Is this his sort of way this Saturday of putting himself back in the mix for a big fight like that, where he can go, look, let's run that back, kind of thing? Or Joe Cordina, is that's how big the stakes are, aren't they, really? Is this a shop window?
Well, first and foremost, the only thing that matters is Jordan Gill, and it probably sounds like
100%, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably sound like a broken record when it comes to that, but yeah, it's the only thing that matters. The biggest fight in Mick Conlan's career is Jordan Gill right now. After December 2nd, the world is a different place. After December 2nd, then we can have our eyes on everything else. You know, Katie winning and looking exceptional the weekend opens the door to Croke Park, opens the door to the National Stadium for ourselves, and that could be an option, and what we would love to be a part of and be down there. And a big fight in Croke Park would be exceptional. Leigh Wood is always on the radar. He never calls Mick's name. He calls Josh Warrington's name, and I think that says a lot about how Leigh values and values Michael as a fighter. That he's silent on a rematch with Michael, but very vocal on a rematch with Josh. And he was losing probably easier, and wee things like that just shows how much it was hard for them to get up for Michael. So it's after December 2nd, the world is a different place for us, and we can then resit down and have a look at all our options. But yes, big fights at 1:30, and they think at 1:30 they're at an advantage. Trust me, they do not know what was taken out of Mick to get to 126. Yeah. At 1:30, he is a different animal. Jordan has sparred Michael at 1:30 when he was sitting around the same weight. He knows that Michael's at this weight.
Well, look, absolutely, Jordan Gill is in the forefront, and like you said, it's the most important fight because that leads to other things, and he's coming back from a knockout loss also, so he won't be looking past Jordan. Look, Jamie, I appreciate your time. We'll catch up after the fight this weekend, and obviously wish you and your brother all the best.
Good man, Matt. All the best, mate.